Facebook is live. Right, YouTube is live now.
I'm gonna hit the button now, right?
We're good. We're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, you're not going to believe it. Here we go again one more time. Again, around and around we go again. Hoping this time around the sun will not be the same again and again and again and again. The story never changes. The nice people will continue to be nice. The nasty people, their nasty stripes will always be there. In the meanwhile, I'm Rayford Brown, your most deplorable and conniving part of live and local real talk, wanting to know what y'all did this weekend that I can LOL about.
I've got one for you. It's not a LOL. It's like you dummy. But good morning, everyone. I'm Lee Barrows.
Oh, God, I got the dummy part over here. I got, let's see, I got one. I had to bring in the backup computer with two of them on the set out here, not working this morning.
Don't even breathe on mine. Don't.
Anyway, I got the one that I use up in the other part, but this is probably ought to throw the rest of them in the garbage. Just use this one, use a big monitor. I'm giving that some serious thought this morning. Anyway, how was your weekend?
It was good. Saturday, I went to Hampstead. Hey, I was impressed with some of that new highway they have open.
Oh, you got back
the super highway. Yeah, I went right in, came right out, and visited with family. My granddaughter was in from Appalachian State, and so we went shopping. Of course, me, her dad, and my granddaughter, and got to see my tall grandson who keeps growing. He's like 6'5".
Oh, good God. And he's what, 12?
He's 17.
Oh, Lord mercy.
But got to see my daughter. So we had a very nice time Saturday. And then Sunday, I decided my back patio was just nasty. So I got the pressure washer out. I washed the brick on the back of the house. I washed it. No, I didn't use that Chinese piece of.
I got to talk about this one this morning. I got comments.
Okay, all right. Well, you gave me one, and I took it home to test it. And the only thing that got wet was me. But you know, but I overdid it and took several breaks. But the last bit that I was out there, I realized that I was done and just about had to crawl into the house. I almost got sick and took a shower, sat down in front of the fans, and that was it for the day. But my back patio looks good.
That's good.
Yes.
Now you can't be too tired to enjoy it, but it looks great.
Right.
That's usually the problem. Well, it is a Monday morning, y'all. We welcome you aboard, and there's a ton of news out here. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, and
we have a lot of comments already.
We got a talk about a little bit later on. We'll talk in depth here this morning about the loss of a gentleman,
a legend.
He is a legend, and he passed away over the weekend. And he's been in declining health for the past year or so, but he continued working up till not that long ago. Yeah. And at 98 years of age, it looks like he would have said, "Let me hang up my boots here for a while, hang up the spurs anyway." Nope. He kept on kicking and cooking and whatever. Y'all know him as XY Brown. I just know him as Brown.
I know him as XY, and I know him as go the other way, don't go that way.
Yeah, so anyway, he 98 years of age, been with the city of Jacksonville, the police department primarily for 68 years.
Yes.
and he retired last year, October or something like that. I don't know. After
Somewhere around that
68 years. Did a whole lot of law enforcement work during his time, and public safety work, all sorts of stuff. In the beginning, he was out back while he was working. I think he got to be a reserve officer in the 60s.
Yes.
Before certification was in effect, and he just was kind of grandfathered after that as well. But once you're sworn in and you stay sworn in, that's the way it works.
He started working with JPD in 1957 and spent the next 14 years as a reservist.
Yep.
So
he was a reserve officer when I first met him in 1970. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to have at least one individual I know who has a lot of memories of him and worked with him. And he was a supervisor during a big portion of his time with the PD. So we'll be talking with him a little bit later on this morning. But we do have a lot of other news, and too much of it is tragic. So may as well jump on board the bad stuff. I was going to hope that today would be one of those Mondays where we could say, we're not going to do any bad news, but I guess there is just no such thing anymore, right? I'm about ready to call that part quits. Unfortunately, as is typical after every weekend, too much of what happened in the news all around the world is tragic. Some of it is predictable. There's still a world as we know it filled with mean, cruel, and absolutely useless trespassers in our space, those who waste our air. But we look for good news, and I do. I really work hard looking for good news. It seldom shows up above the fold on Mondays. And I personally am always on the lookout for funny news, preferably the kind that doesn't come at the expense of others unless they richly deserve it, and then we call it karma news. Yeah. So the tragic and totally criminal together here this morning in New York Harbor, Saturday night. I want you all to pay attention at 10:30 in the evening. It's dark. A boat capsized, had 14 souls on board. 2 of those, a 27-year-old woman and her child, they drowned. Their bodies were recovered by divers overnight. 12 others survived, mostly with minor injuries. Now, I'm going to give you some facts and opinions. The vessel was a 22-foot speedboat, a bow rider, they call them. Yes, your math is right. A 22-foot speedboat with 14 souls on board off Liberty Island in New York Harbor at 10:30 in the evening. It is dark. To put that into perspective, I have a 30-foot cabin boat that is meant for offshore fishing. It's big. Not only longer, but it's just big. It's much larger than a 22-foot bow rider speedboat. It's meant to handle large payloads, including 300 gallons of gasoline, which alone weighs almost a ton, by the way. My boat, with 2 300-horsepower outboards, tips the scales just under 10,000 pounds. I'm comfortable with a half dozen passengers, plus me, on board. It will hold more, a whole lot more, but I'm not stupid. 14, someone was out of their ever-loving mind, and that guy at the helm is going to pay. I won't call him a skipper. He doesn't even measure up to being called a deckhand. Unnamed as of Saturday night or yesterday, I couldn't find a name for him. But the clown is facing so far more than a dozen criminal charges. I'm not sure that the Coast Guard has done their thing with him yet.
I will tell you this morning they did give his name. I don't remember what it was, and he has been arrested.
I know he's been arrested.
Yes.
He's not a kid. He's 46 and from Manhattan.
Yeah.
2 people are dead, a mom and her child.
5 months old.
A bow rider. Y'all, those are little speedboats. Those are the things you get along with your 3 or 4 people on board, and you go up and down the intercoastal waterway or the bays or whatever, and you play. The speedboat part is a problem at nighttime. Why did it overturn? I don't know. Think of 14 people on board.
Ridiculous.
In a small boat. Y'all call it a 22-footer. It's a small boat. Man, I hope that after they finish with you, you have some serious prison time. I hope you never are able to operate another boat for the rest of your natural life.
And what?
Society does not deserve to have you on board.
And I take it that people weren't wearing their life vest.
A lot of them had them
Hmm.
on, or they managed to get them on. Don't know. Wonder if he had one for everybody on board.
Well,
See, that's required.
yes. And how much you want to take odds right now? No, he did not.
You wouldn't. Why would you equip a
Right.
boat with 14 life jackets on
Exactly.
a 22-foot boat?
Exactly.
That's, well. All right, closer to home, a tragic drowning and maybe with a bit of mystery right now, Saturday afternoon at Shackelford Banks in Carteret County.
Mhm.
The director of emergency management out of Nash County, that's up there in Rocky Mount.
Yes.
His name is Dale Griffin. He drowned at the beach in the early afternoon. A Harkers Island Rescue Unit responded, transported him to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Griffin was well respected. He's a very nice person, apparently. Both EMS personnel and Nash County residents, they thought he was one of their own. Not sure what led up to the tragic situation. Both those in the area know the shoreline is prone to rip currents there. Don't know if one happened. It can happen even if they're not predicted. Those things happen in our waters. Some reports along North Carolina's coastline did indicate this may have been one of 3 drownings over the weekend.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find out more about the other 2. Wow.
The EMS director. He was an EMS director.
Yeah, he was the EMS director of
Right.
Nash County.
That really surprised me. But of course,
It happens.
he could have had a heart attack or something. We don't know.
Or, you know.
Right.
All right, man, so we'll get to it a little bit here quick, like it's August and things may be percolating in the Atlantic hurricane belt, central tropical Atlantic, a broad area of showers and thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave located several hundred miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Some gradual development of this system is possible during the early to middle part of this week, while it moves westward across the central tropical Atlantic. Upper level winds are expected to become less conducive for development later in the week. That's good. When the system approaches the Lesser Antilles, formation chance over the next 48 hours, 0. Over the next 7 days, pretty low, 20%. In the central, eastern and central tropical Atlantic, a little closer this way, another tropical wave expected to move off the west coast of Africa early this week. The conditions offshore are favorable for it. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression could form during the latter half of this week, while the system moves generally westward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. 40% chance of formation through 7 days. And then the one that's up there off North Carolina, don't worry about it unless you're headed for
Go
Ireland.
another way.
Ireland
That's right.
or England or, China. We could turn and go to China. Anyway, it's out there in the ocean. It's a thing. It's not a system. And it's moving. It is north. Is it northwest of, it's northwest of Bermuda. And it's moving eastward. So it's headed towards away from us, a long ways away from us. That's the good thing.
I think that
So we'll keep
second
it.
one is.
We'll keep you. The second one's the one we got to look at.
That's right.
We'll keep you up to speed as we go along. Now, Hampstead man is in a world of trouble.
Yes, he is.
53-year-old John Martin Trott is in jail under a cool $1 million bond. He's facing 23 sex-related charges with minors. Let's do that again. 23 sex-related charges with minors.
Mm-hmm.
The Pender Sheriff's Office and Special Victims Detectives with the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office jointly worked the case as the crimes Trott is charged with happened in both counties. Over in Pender, Trott's charged with 4 counts of statutory sex offenses and 1 count of statutory rape with a victim under 16 years of age and 4 counts of taking indecent liberties with a child and incest. All of the crimes occurred between 2024 and 2026 and involve the same victim. In New Hanover County, Trott's charged with 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child, 3 counts of statutory rape of a victim under 15, 4 counts of a statutory offense against a child under 15, and 2 counts of incest with a child.
I say, don't pass. Go directly to jail.
Just
stay there.
I started looking at that and I'm like, what in the world is wrong with people? Can you explain it to me? Can you help me out with that? What's just wrong? Something's wrong.
Every day it's popping up. Every single day it's popping up.
I'm at a complete and total loss for words about this one. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I saw that story and I was like, what? 23 counts and incest?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the person was between.
He's under 15. She was under 15.
She was under, yeah. They said between 12 and 15 or whatever. And I'm like, holy.
Well, it happened over 2 years.
Right.
2 years.
Right.
2 years. Buddy, what is wrong with you?
Do you think you would have known? Well, I don't know. I have a lot of issues about that whole thing when it comes to families but things happen and I wasn't there.
Well, it's just going to have to be some special help for one child. I can tell you that. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Remember Mark Robinson?
Very well.
He was in Jacksonville a few times. He was running for governor, and he was the lieutenant governor.
Yes, he was.
Got elected lieutenant governor. I saw him first time on TV up there in Greensboro years ago, and he was not a gun owner, but he was didn't even have a gun.
Right.
But the city
does now.
City of Greensboro had decided they were going to try to adopt an ordinance to prohibit having gun shows within the city limits.
That's how I got to know him. I called him and his wife Yolanda and booked them for a dinner here in Jacksonville.
And I called him and got him on the air.
Well, this is before anybody even knew who he was, Rayford. When that video first came out.
Well, that's when I did it.
And I called him and I said, would you be our guest speaker? He said yes. And then 5 days before the dinner, Florence hit the area.
Yeah,
and we ended up having to cancel it. But yeah, I know him and his wife Yolanda.
That's your fault. Anyway, he served 4 years as a lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
All eyes were on him as to be the Republican to take over the gubernatorial, the mansion.
Right.
But
things started coming out.
During his campaign, there were revelations, and it had to do with much of it with his wife.
Right.
And misappropriating campaign money, buying stuff that was too personal to be used for the campaign. Yes, I know they have to do this and have to do that, but
then there was his wife had a nonprofit
and
where she was receiving money from the government, and a lot of that was misappropriated.
Well,
and then other stuff started coming to light.
Anyway, he lost dramatically. He lost,
yes,
as everyone expected. But anyway. Miss Teen, North Carolina, a week or so ago, she was suddenly stripped of her title,
right.
A recently acquired title. A young girl. What is she, about 23, 4, something like that?
Something like that.
Anyway, she was dethroned. It was discovered that she used what they called a racist term back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The lieutenant governor's not a real happy camper about it. He said, she was just a child at that time. And by the way, which we have not been made privy to what she said exactly. And we're not, he says it, but I've cut it out.
Yeah, I saw some of it.
And I know what he said, no,
I meant what she posted.
Anyway. He had some things to say about it over the weekend.
Hey, y'all see where they took the crown from Miss North Carolina or Miss Teen North Carolina because she had some past racist comments or something? I read that entire article. These people that run these organizations, they're so disingenuous. From what I saw, this girl made some posts from back in 2017. I don't even know how old she was in 2017. And she's using a word that all these young people use. And this lady, I think she is not white, I don't believe. I believe she is Colombian or of some Latin descent. Word is, let's just go ahead and say it. The word is AIDS. And that's something that these young people do. And I just cannot believe that these adults are trying to hold these children responsible for something they did when they were children. When some of these damn adults don't even hold adults accountable for stuff that they're doing right now.
I have to agree with you.
I have to agree with that.
100%. Yeah, we're not holding each other accountable. We're not holding people of the same race accountable for using the words that he's talking about. The word that he talked about that I cut out, just simply because I thought it appropriate to cut it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was a variation of the N word. Okay.
Yes.
But it's the street slang of it, and I hear it all the time. You get out amongst crowds, they call each other the same thing. I mean, of that same race, of the African American persuasion. They call white people they refer to each other as the same thing. I don't know.
I will say, Rayford, that from what I read, she used the N-word, but in the slang form.
That's what I just said.
That, right. It's just like if you and I were calling each other some slang word. She wasn't using it in a racist tone. From what I saw.
Language for people.
Yeah.
There's some people.
I will say she is 27 years of age.
So this happened 10 years ago. She was 17.
17, right.
Yeah.
Right around that age. And we always harp about how anything that you post on social media will come back to haunt you. But this, what I read, appeared to be more like maybe comments made on Messenger between her and somebody else. So somewhere she's got a friend who decided to out her. There's rules, which I understand. And there's certain obligations and certain ways you have to conduct yourself. I understand all that. But this was 10 years ago. And, they want to say now, oh, you said something. From what I saw, it was not racist. It's just the use of the word.
If Mark Furman, may rest in peace now, he died recently.
Right.
Mark Furman lied when he was asked if he. I understand he was asked if he had ever used the N word, and he said no. Well, I said you're a liar. All right then.
Well, yeah.
I said you are a liar because I guarantee you that he has. Anybody out there never use it?
Think about it.
Is there anybody out there who's never used it?
Right.
Maybe you did put it in print. Maybe you did. Maybe it's on recording somewhere. You just never know who's got a camera on you, do you?
Well,
but anyway, that's beside the point.
Right.
It's not a good word. We all need to clean up our acts and things that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. In her case, I'm old. So in my case, it could be 65 years ago or 70 years ago. I don't know.
Now, I will say on the other side of the spectrum, the Miss USA CEO, Tom Broder, he said in a statement that this was involving comments that were made over a period of time.
Okay.
So I don't know how much more. I don't know what was in that. All I know is what little bit I saw. And,
and was it ever done towards another person of a African American persuasion, for instance, in a racist way? If it was, then African Americans on a routine basis should be called racist because they scream it all the time, right?
All right, I did find out Brittany Bolton House is a Honduran Mexican by heritage and nationality.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll get away from that. That's one and done, and we'll move on. But folks, if you got any stupid stuff posted on Facebook like that, and you ever have any thoughts of getting a job.
That's right, because employers will
look. Employers will take a look, see at it. and then you will bump into a wannabe an employer that you're applying for a job like me,
Right.
and you just don't know how deep I dive.
Right.
But that's beside the point. I did some of that yesterday for a friend.
Whether it was on me, you didn't find much but doggy pictures. I don't think you could go all the way back to the beginning on my Facebook, and you're not going to find anything that's racist.
No.
I just
No, I'm sure we won't. But that's, but there's other stuff too,
I don't think I've
Goodness.
ever even said anything negative about anybody on social media. Maybe a political
have.
figure or something, but on a personal level, I don't do that. I don't talk about my family's illnesses. I don't talk about my woes. I don't talk about any of that. I'm just like,
Yeah, let's move forward. The rain
Yes.
forecast for the beginning of this second week of August is
Right.
brought to you by whoever catches the biggest fish today at Bogan Fishing Pier. The Bermuda High will remain centered off the coast through much of the forecast period. That's this week, bringing light to moderate southerly to southwesterly winds and benign. I love that description now. They've been using that a lot. Somebody
Okay.
came up with that word. They looked up a word, found it said benign seas across the waters. Out to 60 nautical miles today. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. Tomorrow, westerly winds 15 to 20, seas 3 to 4. Chance of showers, a chance of thunderstorms, mainly in the morning. Wednesday, westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning.
today we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon. Increasing clouds with a high near 93. Heat index values as high as 103. West wind 3 to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, then becoming clear with a low around 75. Tuesday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 96. And Wednesday, sunny with a high near 96.
Our Ham Nation folks out there, in the Ham Nation, that's all our amateur radio operator friends out there in yonder land. Today, Lee reported in this morning about 5:30, 75 degrees, 96% humidity at her home in the Woodlands. 30.6 inches of, I just love saying that.
I know. And it's
0.06 inches of barometric pressure on the barometer. No wind and no rain. I say down here, nobody had any rain. Let's just go with that one. Joe in the Borough in Swansboro this morning, 79 degrees, 94% humidity, 30.07 inches of mercury. West-northwesterly breeze at 1. At Emerald Isle, Joe slipped over to Emerald Isle, called in from there. 79 degrees on the beach, 90% humidity, 30.11 inches of mercury. That also translates to 1,019.9 millibars if you want to go that route. Southwesterly wind, 2.9 to 4 miles per hour. Over in Jones County at the Maple Hill area, Richard reported 75 degrees, 100% humidity, 30.07 inches of mercury. And he could see 8.7 miles. That's his visibility over there this morning. He got out and measured it early. It was still dark, but he was still measuring it. Winds were out of the southwest at pretty much nothing. In Cedar Point, Ward called in, 79.5 degrees, 91% humidity, 30.14 inches of mercury, southwesterly breeze, very light. And Randy on his golf cart riding around this morning, he's a little horsey. He's got a little horse sound to him. He needs to take care of that. 75 degrees, 99% humidity, 30.07 inches of mercury, clear, calm, and of course no rain. Carol reported from River Bend, 75 degrees, 99% humidity, 30.00 inches of mercury, calm. And Carol's going to be joining us on one day this week. Friday, is it? Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning. She's got some stuff to talk about with plants and caterpillars.
I'm tearing all mine out.
Caterpillars.
Done with them.
James over in Blaine County, 76 degrees, 95% humidity, west-southwesterly wind at 4. Here in the studio at Country Club Acres, it's 77 degrees, or it was at 6 o'clock this morning. It's now up to 78. Yep, 78 degrees, 99% humidity, and we got 30.00 inches of mercury. and we had southeasterly breeze overnight. Maximum we had was 4 miles per hour. Okay, that's a look at our ham friends. By the way, coming up, I think it will likely be on September 5th. It's supposed to be the first Saturday in September. We'll have a meeting of the Oslo Amateur Radio Club, and it starts at 9 o'clock. In case any of you guys have an interest in it, you come along and pick yourself an Elmer. Elmers, you know what Elmers are? They're other fellow hams that the younger, generally less experienced people kind of count on. They lean on as a mentor. We call them Elmers. I think that's pretty good. It's been a tradition forever and ever and beyond ever. Okay, let's talk about XY for a little bit.
Yes.
And I think we may even have a call here from one of his former bosses.
And if anybody else has memories.
Anybody else? We're expecting one call here. So after that, if y'all guys have any remembrances of him and any really cute stuff, because, oh, did he scare you to death? This lady over here to my immediate left. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that is Jack.
She was scared to death every time she saw him.
I wasn't scared to death. I just went around the other way.
You avoided him. So, but
yes,
anyway,
I did.
XY, I've known him since 1971. In his last few years, I'd bump into him over at Angie's restaurant. He'd always go in and pick up a dinner or something to take out. And I was going in there doing the same thing, picking up something to go for lunch. And so anyway, we'd always have a little bit of a chat there. Hey, Jack, you're up here, right?
Good morning.
There you
Good
are.
morning.
Jack Bright, a.k.a. Lieutenant Jack Bright, from way back in the wind, Jacksonville PD. And you had a chance to, with his permission, you had a chance to be his supervisor. Is that about the way it worked?
Yeah, I first met him in 1968, 69 time frame. He was working as a police reserve at that time. He worked civil service on the base. I think he worked with, I want to say motor transport, civil service.
Mm-hmm.
But he was with me for 31 years.
Wow.
The time that we worked together, or the same time we were on the department together. He was, there's a lot of things that people just don't know about him. There's a lot of people that see him, working the intersection as a crossing guard for Northwoods Elementary, but there was a lot of things that he did, and I'd like to let people know about those so they can remember him that way.
He was a World War II veteran. He served in the Army in World War II, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. He was a Shriner with the Potentate organization, and he had one of the highest ranks just below the Potentate for that Shriners organization. And he was offered the position of Potentate, but he declined it. But have a long history with that organization with him, because he used to, every time the Potentate ball came about at the American Legion, he would always invite me to come as his guest and my wife. And that's quite an organization. If you don't know about it, there's probably about 700 members that came from all over the country to that Potentate ball, and they filled up 3 motels with the members for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So economically, they had that ball here, and it was quite a show that they put on. A lot of the elected officials were there. The chief of police was there.
Of course.
The sheriff was there. But I never, even though he had all that background for being in the service and working civil service and being a reserve, I never seen him use tobacco. I never seen him use alcohol in any shape or form. That's just the way he was.
Yeah, that was him.
And he always drove a Lincoln Continental.
Yeah.
You see him driving down the road with that Lincoln, and he come to work with that Lincoln until we assigned him a car because of the things that we had him doing. He actually had a take-home police car because he was always 7 days a week he worked. He didn't take off any days unless he was gone on vacation or had some situation that took him away from the department. But and then
how about we all know him. Everybody knew him for his traffic duties in front of Northwoods Elementary School. But a lot of folks ran into him on Sundays as well, and at funerals when they were coming out of a certain church there on Marine Boulevard, because there's no traffic light there.
Right.
And when that church is letting out, he's out there directing traffic in the middle, all by himself, of Marine Boulevard, taking care of traffic.
Trinity Methodist Church.
Yes, sir, buddy. He was there.
He worked that position for years.
Weddings, funerals, church.
Yeah, and he never got paid for working as a police reserve.
Nope.
He never got any compensation until Pat Patterson passed away.
Yeah.
And Pat Patterson had the intersection at Northwoods Elementary there on Henderson Drive.
Yes.
And when he passed away, we asked XY if he would like to take that post and get paid for it. And of course, he graciously accepted it and worked that post until he just recently, when he got disabled, health caught up with him a little bit. So he had the total respect of the teachers. He loved those kids. And you better not go through that intersection and not stop where he had that. There was a stop bar on that street, and you better not stop anywhere inch past that. If you did, he would pop that sign on your hood and let people know that he was there and they need to pay attention. And he would, chew them out. A lot of times, people didn't like it, but he was just doing what he was out there to do.
Vehemently, and he had people back up, pull over, and then he'd go over and show them out when he had a break.
He'd have them pull over in the school parking lot and say, "Okay, you just sit over there till I get done here," and then he would go over and he'd have a little conversation with them. But he had a Harley. I don't know if you remember or not, but he had a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and
that was a long time ago.
It's still over at his house now, from what I was told.
Really?
But he had probably 1,000 different lights on it, because he told me, he said, when I'm out there riding that thing, he said, I want people to see me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he lived in a small wood frame house on 17 North there, just above Belfort Road.
Right.
And as far as I know,
Plaza.
that was the house he lived in, and that was the house he had and still has now that's still there, existing for the family. He never talked to me about his personal life. He never talked to me about his kids. That was something that never came up, and we never talked about it. But he had a large family, and they owned the property there at 17 and Mooseheart Drive on and Western Boulevard. You know where Wendy's is?
I know very well where
and
it is.
that intersection.
I think didn't they own from that to the New Bern city limits or something?
No, that not
I'm talking about all the way. Didn't he own the entire stretch? I don't know. He and I were talking one time, and he jokingly said that. He said, I own from there all the way to New Bern.
He owned a big corner of that when Western Boulevard was expanded past 17 and went out towards Gum Branch.
Right.
The state bought that property, and I don't know what the property sold for, but I understand it was in the millions of dollars.
It was a lot, yes.
When his parents passed away, that property went to I think he had like 9. I want to say he had 9 members of his brothers and sisters. I don't know what the the exact count was, but he had a big family that divided the money. But anyway, some other things that he did. He became a fixture at that location of the school there. But he did other things also. He made house checks for residents on vacation. The police department had a plan that if you go on vacation, you come up to the station and sign up for a house check, and your house would be checked every day by a police officer to check to see if anybody had disturbed it, anybody had broke in. He did that not only every day, but he did it on Sundays and Saturdays. He was always in doing those. He transported juveniles to Wilmington and Charlotte while they were waiting for court proceedings. He would take them up there, and then when the case come up, he would run up there and pick them up and bring them back to Jacksonville, because the Oslo County Sheriff's Office does not have a juvenile detention facility. They're not approved for that. So they had to be, if they were held, they had to be held in those locations that was approved for juveniles. He directed traffic for not only the church, but he directed traffic for funerals. He directed traffic for the holiday parade. He directed traffic for special occasions, leading funerals. And it was just amazing at what that man did to save the taxpayers thousands and thousands of dollars. So giving him a car to drive, a take-home car to drive, was just a small amount of compensation that he was getting to do all that work just for the price of the school crossing guard position. He was also hired by some approved businesses to work security. Mm-hmm. He worked ball games. He worked grocery stores. He was a fixture. He was a fixture at the skating rink out there, and he was paid like whatever the organization or the business paid for, private security. And they always called and requested him. Right. They actually requested him by name. And
okay, let's talk about his name, XY. He's given several stories. Some of them were probably true about why he was called XY, because his real name is James Brown.
James Brown, that's right. I don't know why. I never talked to him. I always called him James.
Yes.
a lot of people, especially the people in his neighborhood, called him XY, and where he got that label, I don't know.
Oh, good. He told me. I got one of the stories I remember. He says, my mama, we have so many kids, and and they ran out of names for them, so they started naming them with letters. And by the time they got to me, they'd used up all the letters twice, and I got down to X and Y. That's why they named me XY Brown.
Well, that sounds like that could be true with a number of people in his family. But I know one time when I was in charge of the patrol division, he came in the office and he told me, he said, Commander, he said, and I was a commander then. I was actually had a major rank, but the chief did some restructuring on the rank positions. But anyway, he came in and he said, I want to be a lieutenant. I said, well, you need to talk to the chief about that, because I said, normally you have to go through a process and everything to get promoted to that rank, and especially from, being a patrol officer, jumping completely to that rank.
It's a big jump.
So anyway, after I retired in 2000, I don't know how it came about, but next thing I knew, he had been made the rank of lieutenant, and the chief has all that authority in the world to do that. They could make any rank they want and call it an administrative position.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they did, and he was so proud of that. They let him wear a officer, command officer shirt, the white shirt with the lieutenant bars, and he always dressed neat as a pin. His gig line was always straight. His creases were always like razors. He always presented himself in uniform, and he always wore his hat long as he was out working. I never seen him without his hat, and I never seen him in civilian life without some type of hat on. Mm-hmm. He always wore a, one of those brim hats. And but anyway, at some point, like all of us, when we get older, he was not able to qualify because qualifications
at the range.
There's no age position for that. You have to qualify under the state standards, and you have to kneel down. You have to shoot with your left hand. You have to stand up. You have to reload. You have to shoot, and it's all under a time restraint. Mm-hmm. So at that point, because he couldn't qualify, they let him still continue to do the work that he did without his weapon. But he still worked as a civilian, but in uniform. He also took documents to the courthouse. He would all the citations that were accumulated or any correspondence back and forth to the courthouse from the police department were hand delivered by him to the court and picked up from the court and brought back to the police department. That was another one of his assigned duties. But anyway, I do remember, I'll tell you this funny story, and I'm not going to talk about some of the things we did, but no. I want people to remember this. But one time he was riding with me. I was a patrol officer at the time, and we were going up 17, and sure enough, we had a bolo be on the lookout for a stolen car, and of course, I jumped him there at Onslow at 17, and we started the chase. And Brown was in the car with me as a passenger, and he had a habit. If he got real nervous, he stuttered.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We were going 17 north, and we were running to probably chasing that car. We were probably up to about 90, 95, and I had a Ford Interceptor, and we come to the red light there at 17 and Belfort Road, still going north on 17, and he had his hands on the dash, and we were really moving, and he said, bah, 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 bah. I said, what? He said, that light was red. I said, yeah, we already through it now. But I think when we traded that car, I think his fingerprints
are still there, embedded.
I think they're still embedded on the dash.
Yeah, there are 1,012 stories about XY Brown, and most of them are funny, except for the people like Lee who were scared to death through the
I wasn't scared to death. I just got
She went by way of Wilmington,
I did.
all the way to
go
Wilmington,
to the post office.
to go around downtown Jacksonville.
He always stopped me. And I was so scared that if I did stop and somebody bumped me from behind and sent me an inch over that line, I was done for. I was like, nope, I went around. I went the long way to the post office. I was scared of that man.
He was very oriented to making people obey the law and the stop sign. And we actually had put those white marks across the intersection there in front of the school as a indication where to stop. And we had a sign put up that said, stop here, stop here with the traffic officer.
Yeah.
And you better stop. I think he stopped one of the newly elected city councilman one time and went up and chewed him out about it. And
he didn't care.
And the councilman went to the chief and said, said, you got to fire him. And
That won't happen.
he said, if I fire him, they'll fire me.
The town will riot.
Yes.
Yeah, when I moved back to Jacksonville, I was still commuting to Wilmington. I was working out of Levy there, and so every morning, bright and early, I was going right by that location because I lived in Doris and Henderson, and there he was. And I did not know that's where he was working. I did not know that much about what he was doing these days since I had left town in '76. But anyway, I got there and I said, I know him, and I pulled up there. And he wasn't looking at me, but I was stopped back like I'm supposed to be behind another car, in fact. And when the other car went through, I just tooted a horn, and he looked at me, and I saluted him. And all I saw was him grinning like you've never seen before. We were long lost buddies. He said, Brown! I said, Brown! That's the way we greeted each other.
I could be the
He's
only
hilarious.
vehicle on Henderson Drive.
He's
And when
gonna
he
get you.
saw my Mustang coming up towards that school, he put that stop sign
You
up.
better not be driving a high visibility profile car.
And I was just like, that's when I started going the other way.
Anyway,
like me.
there are tons of stories. And,
Lots of them.
he's a great guy. And a great man to have on your side if you have to have a man on your side.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was good to see him rolling up. If you got in a fight with making an arrest, or you got in a situation where you thought maybe you needed some backup, it was good to see him rolling up, and he will definitely be missed by this community.
Yes.
And the people, and especially the students. The students that there's no telling how many students that will recognize him and know him that went to Northwoods Elementary.
Oh, God, yes.
that will. There's probably thousands and thousands of them that will know who he is. And I don't know too many people that was in Jacksonville for longer than 6 months that didn't know him.
Yes.
He's going to be an icon. Somebody had posted on the Facebook page. I think Senator Lazara posted about his passing, and I think one person posted that they need to build a statue of him somewhere and put it up there at Northwoods Elementary. But I don't know if that will ever happen.
Well,
but,
Jack, I can tell you that the city council has already approved, and they did this last week. They took the vote on it, and there will be a sign put out there, and this is before he even passed, that says Lieutenant James X. Y. Brown Commemorative Way. And that's what's going up there. They're naming that one section of Henderson Drive in front of the school that.
Well, I think that's really appropriate,
I do
because his footprints will still be on that pavement.
Oh, yes.
And that sidewalk out there.
Yeah.
And he made his mark in Jacksonville, and he cannot be replaced. Nobody will be able to do what he was doing.
There's not another one around. It'd take a squad to do what he did.
I agree.
And all the things that he did, it has to be absorbed by the existing officers now that's working. And somebody, I don't know who may be working his post at Northwoods Elementary now, but with all the things he did with the transport and stuff back and forth to Charlotte and Wilmington with juveniles, with all the things he did with school traffic, church traffic, funeral traffic, parade traffic, even when hurricanes come and traffic lights were out, he would work, intersections. And I totally trusted him out there working traffic. And to my knowledge, there was never, ever an incident with an accident or anything while he was in charge of one of those traffic assignments.
That's cool. That's a great reputation.
He was a great man.
All right, Jack. Hey, man, I appreciate it.
You guys take care, and talk to you later.
Thank you, Jack.
That's Jack Bright, retired police major, I think he was, and I'm not sure. Was he assistant chief at one time? I don't remember. Anyway, he was
I will
way up
tell
there,
you-
way up there.
That XY used to come into the passport office there at the post office. He was friends with Cheryl who did the passports. And when it was time to sell those books, those dinner books, or you buy the book for like $20, you get all these different. And I'd go up there, and every time he'd see me, he'd just look at me, and I'd just bring out that $20 because I was like, I'll buy one. Yeah, okay, I'll buy one.
Yeah.
He used to do so. You could always expect he would come there with those books to sell, and I look, I did not ever say no. And do you know one thing about him? And Jack was talking about his uniform. I think he's the only officer to date that still wore the core fams, the shoes, the shiny shoes.
Today, yes.
Yes. I don't think I ever saw running shoes on that man.
I think he took a little bit of
He was very
from
proud.
another police officer who was here back in the day. His name was Levi Severance.
Uh-huh.
Levi, he worked back in the 70s as well.
Right.
And Levi, you see sometimes at crime scenes or whatever, you're going to find a newspaper photographer or TV guy that's going to be there. You find an officer sitting around because they're tired or it's cold and their hands are in their pockets, right? Not Levi. He would not put anything in his pockets. You know how he
Talk
kept?
about Levi Simmons?
Yeah. You know
Yes, I
how he kept
remember
from
him.
putting anything in his pockets?
Right.
He sewed the pockets up.
Why?
He did not. You could not get. He wouldn't buy.
Uh-huh.
Men do that naturally, not him. So I suspect, because I don't ever recall seeing James XY with his hands in his pockets. So he may have done the same thing.
Well, let me tell you something, though.
knows?
XY, whenever he was in that dress uniform and those white gloves,
Oh yeah,
those white gloves
They were
were
clean, weren't they?
always so clean. Yes.
Bleach beyond belief.
Oh, I'll tell you what. He's a legend,
Yeah.
and he will be very missed. He earned respect. I respected that man tremendously, even when he was stopping me.
XY passed away yesterday,
Yes.
and so that's the reason that we dedicated a little bit of time here this morning.
Right, right.
For an individual who was 68 years of service to the city, plus his time in the Army,
Right.
plus his time in civil service,
Mm-hmm.
just plus his time here as a citizen of this community. He deserves a little time.
Well, most of the news story are saying, I know this has been brought up before too, that they believe, it's not been absolutely 100% verified yet, that he was the longest serving law enforcement in the United States.
I think continuous service,
Yes.
I believe that's the way it was.
Yes, 68 years.
Yep.
He retired December 2025.
Yep.
And that was shortly after receiving the Order of the Longleaf Pine Award from the governor.
Yep.
Highest award you can get in the state of North Carolina.
Okay, well, we've run it, and we do appreciate your putting up with us this morning. Those of you who might be newcomers to the area that never knew him, that is your loss. So
Right.
I'm sorry about that, but you go around and ask the people who've been around here, they will talk to you about X, Y,
Yes.
and they will all laugh about if they ever went through that intersection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even to this day, Rayford, when I would pass through there, I'm always looking.
He's there. He's there.
I'm looking. He's going to still be watching, isn't he? But, I got to where I always, if I knew it was time for school to start
Yeah.
or in for the day, I always went around the other way because I was like, I don't. But I respected that man 100%.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's go to some other garbage. I'm going to do a little bit of funny first here, but
Okay, let's do some funny.
This is a commentary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I showed y'all this month or so or three ago.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered one because it looked really cool on TV, and
Right.
it says it takes the place of a pressure washer. And I said, I want to see how it works. I was curious as
Right.
a nosy person,
Right.
and I was just wanting to see how can you take something and multiply the energy to do what it said it would do, like basically peel paint. It would clean your walks. It would clean everything with just your hose plugged in. No pressure washer, nothing like that. Probably a good thing they didn't put a pressure washer to it, because I believe this would have blown up in your hands and in your face. However, I got it after, well, when I ordered it, one for $35, I think it was. And then I suddenly get a bill that, oh, I would charge you another $120 roughly for 3 more. That comes out to $40 a piece for the other
Mhm.
3. 34 for one, 40 for all the others.
Right.
And I said, I didn't order anymore. I sent a note, cancel the whole order. I don't want it. Don't want it. Just cancel it. Can't do it. What? Can't do it. Well, I said, well, I can do it. I'll take care of that with a credit card company. But they said, when it gets to you, then you can call and cancel it, and they will refund your money. Huh? What?
Okay.
I mean, that was $160 something or whatever, including shipping and handling and paying the tariff or whatever they had to do. Anyway, after about a month and a half or so, the slow boat from China made it. Which was a lie, by the way, because I kept doing tracking. It's been shipped. It's on the way. It's been shipped. It's on the way. It's been shipped. It's on it. Where is it coming from? Whatever. Well, to their credit or disbelief, they had actually a U.S. telephone number answered by American. So I finally started calling. Where's the stuff? Well, it'll be there. I said, I tried to cancel this thing. Well, you can't cancel it till it gets there. Then we will issue a refund.
Right.
After many, many, many weeks and months, I get the notice that it was in a facility, a postal facility in New Jersey. Well, I did the tracking since I have the USPS tracking stuff. I tracked it there. But this one, USPS took over, and that way I could really track it. Except we have received shipping orders, but we don't have the product yet. So it was not at the post office, because I was getting ready to blame the post office in New Jersey for it going to be taking another 3 weeks to get here.
Right.
But they didn't even have it. But they had just been shipped online. Here's the mailing order. And it came in, but it was in the United States the whole time at a warehouse somewhere. And then they shipped 4 of them over to New Jersey. New Jersey shipped them to me. I got it in the mail. I started laughing. I went outside, I plugged it in, and I got really, really, really wet because it was leaking from everywhere and did not get a stream of water out of it. You could do anything with. It wouldn't even clean dirt off the deck. Period.
My the regular nozzle I had on my water hose did better than that.
Yeah, I got my little handle thing, whatever.
Right.
Like I have to buy one every year because I leave it outside and it freezes and breaks. I go to Harbor Freight and I buy them. And it's got a lot more pressure. I can clean a lot of stuff with that. No problem. So I called them. I said, I'm shipping this stuff back to you. I just need a refund. And I went through several calls. And finally, the lady said, you're still calling. You're still calling. We will refund your money. And I said, I'm watching my bank account. You're going to do it right now? She said, yes, just watch it. And they did. They refunded the whole thing. I said, so ship me a return authorization and I will ship it to wherever you want. She said, no, ma'am. No, sir. Just throw it away if you don't want it. Really? Do you have any idea how many calls that they were getting like mine? Here's the part that really irritates me with Fox News and Fox this and everybody else where I see these ads right now. These people are authorizing people to, these companies to advertise this same piece of junk on a news website. And it's not just Fox News. I just found it on Fox News several times recently. Why would anybody allow, especially if your news organization, allow something that has been discredited all over YouTube? There have been so many people to do stories to review this. Nobody has anything to say about them.
I will say, in defense of some of these networks, occasionally they will put out a disclaimer that these products that are being shown or whatever
baloney.
They don't absolutely say that. They just say that, hey, they're paid advertisers and they go at that.
I don't care.
And
you have a right to stop them. you have a responsibility to control it.
Where did you see this ad?
On Fox News website.
You need to call Fox News. No, but I agree. This is very misleading.
It's a piece of junk.
It's a piece of junk. Because
And I'm
you
being
gave me
polite.
one of the 4, and I went home and did a review on it. I laughed through it, but as soon as you turned the water on, I was completely soaked. It was coming out of every crack there was. And I'm like,
What? I'm going to tell you a little story about WECT.
right.
We found there was some kind of an ad that was running somewhere about a product, and we had somebody to call and complain about the product. I did not know that it was running on WECT as a commercial.
Uh-huh.
But they called the news department and say, have you looked at this thing? And it's being advertised everywhere. I didn't think about it being on ECT. So we got the product, ordered one. We got it. And I forgot what it was, but it was a piece of junk like this. I mean, junk.
Right.
It's a scam. And then somebody in the newsroom said, "You're going to do a story on that?" I said, "Yeah, we got it done, and we're ready to roll." He said, "You might want to go tell the bosses because we're running that on TV right now."
Right,
I said,
right.
"Really?"
Really?
So I go to
Yes.
the sales manager. I said, "You may want to give some serious thought to this thing. Have you ever looked at this product?" "No." "Let me show you some video." And I did. And he said, "We don't need to be advertising that." And I said, "We don't, because I'm getting ready to do a story on it tonight.
Right.
You might want to kill it now."
Sometimes you get those corporate sponsors, and they
Yeah.
they sell some of that advertising to people like this.
Well, some people in any sales department, they're looking for the money, honey, and that's
That's
all
right.
that they care about.
And right now,
Sorry, but that's all they care about.
it's hard to get that.
Bottom line.
Right.
And I don't care. Would they advertise hookers for sale on there? You'd be getting better product
That's
than you're getting
going
out here.
against community standards, hookers.
That depends on
Now,
your community.
hose nozzles, it's a whole different
That's
thing.
going against my standards.
Well, that Rayford,
It's a piece
it
of
was
junk.
horrible. It's a piece of junk. It is. And I thought, well, maybe it just needs a new washer. or
No, I
something.
tried that.
We tried, yeah, you did. I tried putting different nozzles. I took it apart and saved a lot of the pieces of it because I said I could probably use this
I'm
elsewhere.
trying to figure a way to make an antenna out of it. It's not quite.
Oh,
if it was
goodness
18, if it was
gracious.
18 inches for this, I could make a 2-meter vertical out of it. It'd be
Yeah,
great, but
okay.
it's not 18 inches. Maybe if I put two
No,
of them together. And
That definitely is a
Piece of
piece of,
junk.
and you know what? My sister ordered one. Now I don't know if it was from the same company, but she got one a while
They
back,
all look alike.
and she said, yeah. She ended up getting a small pressure washer, I believe.
You're
because-
better off.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have the pressure washers.
Folks,
the
if all of
smalls.
this stuff is as great as it looks like,
Right,
pressure washers and that kind of would be out of business.
that's right.
All right.
And I'm gonna tell you, the price on pressure washers have gotten really relatively cheap now.
Probably I
Yeah.
could have bought one for the price of these four that
Probably
they charged me to
could
begin
have.
with. Whatever.
I love my pressure washer.
Is the
man.
president trying to give those who
God.
actually think you can negotiate
Oh.
with or trust murdering terrorist scumbags a chance to look as stupid as they are, or is he totally incompetent and having cognitive issues? That's my question for the day. Don't go blaming me. The folks suffering from Trump derangement syndrome have not let up since November 2016, when he actually pulled off what was supposed to be a Hillary Clinton slam dunk. Even before he took office, we started hearing the I word, impeach, impeach, impeach. Even continued after he was defeated in 2020. Continued in other ways after Biden actually took office. The TDS crowd was hell-bent on making sure he would not ever be reelected. Didn't work out that way. The Iran mess has been a nonstop mess since 1979, y'all. It was actually with us before that, but mostly in the clandestine world of spooks. With the rogue political regime deciding to try to become a recognized bully nation, efforts to take over the Strait of Hormuz by forces has become a major problem for the rest of the world. Shipping, oil, tariffs, demands, violence, attacks, you name it, Tehran and the Republican National Guard have become unwelcome elements around much of the world. Problem is, no one's doing much about it other than the United States and Israel. Israel is our ally, about the only one we can usually count on in that region. And the U.S. generally has Israel's back. The two nations have been mostly successful in keeping Tehran under control. Tehran has agreed to peace talks more times than smokers have quit huffing and puffing. Time and again, I quit smoking. I'm
That's
smoking
a lot.
again. I quit smoking. I'm smoking again. I quit.
Uh-huh.
Peace talk? No, we don't want a peace talk no more. So today, the 10th of August, we're back where we were the day we went to war with Tehran. We're running out of missiles, as reported by news organizations worldwide, and Tehran is invigorated by that very thought. What happens when we have nothing left to shoot? Why did our War Department allow us to get into this position? Is Trump trying to make a point? Is this a chance for him to show Congress that they finally need to take a stand? Maybe he wants to scare us about this evil thing called socialism, one step away from terrorism, in my opinion.
I told you, I don't even look at the news about it anymore.
I can't help it.
I'm
because
done with it right now.
It's in my face all the time.
Yeah, I was watching it every night. Every night I was watching the live news coming out
That
of
would
there.
be hilarious news.
And I just got to the point where but I do, you brought up Biden.
Or no, I didn't.
No,
He
the
just suddenly
stories.
showed up.
Well, have you seen the recent news stories now on Biden?
It's
His cancer has spread.
Yeah.
It's metastasized into his bones and further. And
but he's still going out trying to do speaking engagements.
well, yeah.
And I don't know how long this was going on, but that's one of the reasons we did not hear any firm results of his private HIPAA-protected
Right.
rights. But as the president of the United States, some of those rights probably need to go away or needed to go away at the time.
Well, at the time
especially when he was running for re-election.
well,
That was not.
he
fair
was
to the country.
diagnosed in May of 2025, and he had already left. And he was diagnosed at stage 4 then. But I'm thinking,
He knew
Rayford,
He knew about it. They
had to have known about it while he was still in
He
office,
gets
because you don't
examined all the
become
time. Examinations.
stage 4 overnight.
No.
So I don't know what, and maybe he chose not to put the word out there, but
I'm sure he did.
Bless him.
At least the Democrat National Committee did.
That must be really hard on him, and his son said
I
he
feel bad
stays
for
in pain. I do too. Said he stays in pain,
Yes.
and
Well,
I
part of that was Hunter's blame.
anyway, I wish President Biden well.
Oh, I do
And,
too.
That's horrible. It's sad.
It's awful, for that to be, your fate anyway.
Yes,
anytime. It's
exactly.
too bad we don't have can't get a better control over it. It's surprising that action wasn't taken early on for him.
Right.
Is really surprising.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it was. Maybe we don't know. Maybe it popped up overnight. Maybe it was to that point even with I don't know the details on it, but it just kind of made me think. Stage 4.
Presidents are getting physical
Right.
exams that cover things that we don't even know about.
Well, maybe everybody was the doctors were more concerned on his
Cognitive issues. Well,
than they were
that's a
other.
different doctor. They got a variety of doctors that go through.
No.
Let's do some hilarious news. Think about my word here. Hilarious. Okay.
Okay.
We get a couple calls a week from those who talk about Donald and how the normal Republicans are running away from his shadow.
Right.
Obviously, folks are referencing what they gleefully refer to as MAGAs. MAGAs, according to those who absolutely hate the ground that Trump walks on, are supposedly right-wing Republicans. Is that the way you understand it? At the same time, though, I hear from those in that corner who say that not all Republicans are MAGAs in that sense, while others label every person who supports Trump as a MAGA. In 2015, when Trump was launching his bid for the presidency, someone in the promotions team produced the MAGA theme. which simply means make America great again. A political theme, what a beautiful one, of the Trump campaign after what a heap of Americans thought were 8 years of failures under Obama. Not to argue that point nor defend the Republicans, but a lot of folks who did not like Obama loved the MAGA campaign. That's not the funny part. Speaking of hilarious, did you see Hillary over the weekend?
No.
She's warning the far left-leaning Democrats
Yes.
that if they don't get their mess together and look at more middle-of-the-road Democrats instead of the socialist elements, the Republicans will again gain a lot of ground by continuing to pound that extreme left tilt that the Democrats have these days. She's right. She's right. Never said that before. Not about her. She's right. The minority, I hope part of the Democrats think it's cool to think of themselves as socialists. They may want to slip back to the late 1940s, though. You cool folks out there, including artists and movie stars, who thought communism was the way the country should be going. They joined the Communist Party, a lot of them. And a lot of well-known actors, performers, artists, they fell by the wayside as a result of that. They became members of the Communist Party. The commie movement, thank goodness, was shut down within just a few years, but it included a major congressional investigation. Remember that? You don't, but you remember reading about it. Of course, that was a time when the country had a Federal Bureau of Investigation headed by a director that did not cotton to such ideas as communism. An interesting point that Hillary made. I think she's getting smarter with age. Her words. One thing that we haven't yet seen enough of is that when the progressives, the left, whatever we want to call it, candidates on the side of the Democratic Party, when they lose, they often don't support the candidate that has been nominated. I think that's what you call sore losers. When the candidate that's running for a Republican Party nomination or a candidate that's running for a Democrat Party nomination, when either one of them loses, whoever they lose to in the primary, their supporters are not supporting the nominee, whoever the nominee is. That's a problem you've talked about in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats are having the same problem. That's why we're getting fewer and fewer people who are actually returning to the polls. The Republican Party is as full of sore losers as the Democrats, except in Onslow County, where members of both parties failed to even show up to vote in the primary. Makes me wonder how they'll vote come November, if they even show up then.
I think we'll have a better turnout.
Well, it cannot be worse. By
It's
default, it cannot be any worse than 11%.
Very true.
If it's worse than 11%, we need to line them up out here and everybody gets a beating with a stick.
Well, I've been part of going out and talking to people, and people are aware. I think the primary, they just didn't care, but from what I'm hearing, they'll be out there for the general election. We'll see.
Maybe the candidate that won the primary is not somebody they'll even vote for. Maybe it's not somebody they can support. I can understand that. I can really understand that for both sides. But the problem is you had the choice, the chance, the opportunity to pick the best person, and only 11% of the population in Onslow County turned out.
Well, I find, too, that over the last couple elections that less and less of the people you'd like to see run don't run. And there's people just coming out of the woodwork. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're coming out to run. People that have not had
we need
any
some new blood,
political
really.
experience, no experience with working with city or town government. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. No, not at all. I mean, it's good to see new faces, but people that you would expect to throw their hat in the ring you don't see. They're like, nope.
You know,
And it's like next go round, 2028, we have 4 commissioners that are not running again.
no.
There's going to be 4 seats open there.
Now here's some other issues about not turning out. You're just going to get what's left. You're getting what's left over,
Right.
chosen by a very small percentage of 11% turnout. Now I understand the Democrats in Oslo County not turning out
Right.
for a primary. They didn't have much to choose from.
They didn't have to turn out.
They didn't,
They didn't have to.
Everybody running
Right.
for as a Democrat gets a chance to
Yes.
run in the November, right?
Right.
They had no leftovers.
Right.
There were a lot of Republicans who did not make the cut.
Right. Because
So
like on
that's-
county commissioners, you have 3 seats.
Yeah.
And you have maybe 5 Republicans running, so you have to choose 3
Two
out of
people
that
are not going to
5.
make it.
If the Democratic Party only has 2 people running, well, they don't even go on the ballot during the primary. You don't even see that.
Here's what I think we ought to do.
What's that?
I think there ought to be you know how you have a minimum bid.
Yes.
Even if you've got 5 people running for 3 seats,
Right.
if some of them don't make the cut and get a certain percentage of the
Right.
number of voters in the county, then that person's not going to be running. They eliminate that person.
Well, it's basically how it's done, right?
No. You say they get the most. If they don't meet a certain threshold, like a minimum, you could eliminate all 5 of them if they didn't all get a certain percentage of the.
Then what would you do to replace them?
Nothing. Do without. We'd have empty chairs. Empty chairs. Because if that's all we're going to have up there running, we got empty chairs.
Well, I tell you what, and I do have to put it out there that I'm very impressed with one of our candidates that's running for county commissioner. She's new to it, new to the
I
world.
like her.
She stays extremely involved in community. She goes to the meetings. She goes to the workshops.
I think
She goes to
I think-
anything and everything going
we're
around in
going to
Onslow
find
County.
out by the time, assuming that she wins in November.
Right.
That's probably pretty much a given, but
Right.
let's just say she does win in November. I think I'm going to give it until the March meeting. She is going to be a force to be reckoned with because she is going to be one of the better educated. I don't mean like book educations.
Well, I will tell you
She's going to know more about the history of Onslow County and the
Right.
county commissioners.
Well, the other 2 Republicans that are running, they're running for reelection, so they're experienced. They know the workings and the dealings. But Whitney, I'm just going to say her name. She is new to the scene, but she's a Onslow County resident, and she has really, really, really. She's really worked hard.
I would encourage.
She's everywhere I go.
I would encourage all of those who are likely to get a seat on the county commission to do some studying because I think they're going to have to go a long way to just to keep
Yes,
up with
and
it.
I saw that in the primary. There were some names in there that put their, hat in the ring to run, but got knocked out of the primary, but didn't really do much studying or much questioning, and gave out some bad information.
The other thing for we the people, I know you find a Miss North Carolina USA.
Yes.
She's not Miss North Carolina, folks.
Yes,
She's
we
Miss
know.
North Carolina USA,
USA.
even though Mark Robinson referred to as Miss North Carolina, and a couple of news stories over the weekend called her Miss North Carolina. No, 2 different groups. But Miss North Carolina USA, she got dethroned
Right.
because somebody went through and found some stuff, right? Why don't we,
Like
the
somebody
people, look at everyone running for office at all levels and just check into their backgrounds before we decide to put them in office? If we, the people, had done that a few years ago, we, the people, would not have been as embarrassed as we, the people, were by a certain individual that got elected to the Board of Education.
Did not get elected.
Huh?
He did not get elected.
How did he get on the
He
board?
got appointed.
He ran for re-election.
But he didn't. No, he was appointed.
He appointed him? Who? How did he get appointed?
Because we had a vacancy on the board. Someone resigned, quit, or something. I forget what that.
How
I
did
have to go
that?
back.
How did?
And,
who appointed him?
and the Republican Party appointed him to fill the
Then
vacancy.
why didn't y'all do the background check?
What do you mean, y'all? Well, Rayford, I mean, I've known you for how long, and I could find out tomorrow that you were in prison or something.
Not yet.
Sometimes it takes that person getting into the seat. I've told you that I've been a little disappointed with certain individuals on the Jacksonville City Council.
Yeah.
That I really liked them, but once they got the seat and got in there, I was almost shocked.
Can we, here's another thing.
Like, what?
We used to hire people, and you probably
Right.
did the same. They were on probation for the first 30, 60 days, right?
90 days.
90 days.
That's
so at
right.
the end of
90 days.
90 days they either come or go. And
Right.
I think at the end of 90 days,
Itch.
we ought to be able to just reach out there and say, y'all get out. We'll find somebody
Well,
else.
like at the post office,
While we-
you're on a 90-day probation, but you've got to do an evaluation every 30 days. You just can't wait the 90 days, say you're out the door.
So
And
why-
then when I had my businesses and hired people, you pretty much, once they put on a uniform, a gun and a badge, went out there to work, you pretty much knew within 24 hours
Yep.
whether they were going to be good or not.
Yeah.
And I have fired a few right away. Yeah.
you didn't get
yeah.
bullets right away, did you?
No, I had
Just kidding.
one that after receiving some phone calls at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from women complaining, he told me he wasn't married. Why are you calling me? And, I just found out he was. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So I called him into the office. It was on payday. I said, I need you to bring your gun and badge because I'm going to trade out guns and badges with you. Because, what we, assigned to you, we want to upgrade a little bit.
You lied.
I just happened to have Mac with me sitting with me in the office. He was a very good friend, worked for us too. And when he came in, the gentleman came in and turned in his stuff. I put it away and said, thank you, you're done.
Yeah, your services are no longer
Your
required.
services are no longer
The
required.
Bermuda High will remain centered off the coast through much of this week, bringing light to moderate south to southwesterly winds and quiet seas, benign across our waters. Today, out to 60 nautical miles, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this morning. No clouds here yet. Tomorrow, westerly winds 15 to 20, seas 3 to 4, a chance of showers, a chance of thunderstorms mainly in the morning tomorrow. Westerly winds on Wednesday, 10 to 15 knot, seas 3 to 4 feet, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning.
Today we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Increasing clouds with a high near 93. Heat index value as high as 103. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, becoming clear with a low around 75. Tuesday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, sunny with a high near 96. And Wednesday, sunny with a high near 96. Getting my yard work done this morning.
Do you buy those meats or seafood at big box stores that are obviously prepackaged,
No.
manufacturer's warehouse and distribution center,
Just-
like a package of bologna or a package of ham or a package of this or a package of that, or any even steaks that are already packaged when they get there? They buy them and they're prepackaged.
No, I buy like my steaks, hamburgers, stuff like that. I buy what that store has cut and packaged. And as far as I don't like to buy seafood in a store, I like it fresh.
Do you buy ground beef in those little 1 pound, 2 pound, 5 pounds, or 10 pound things because
No.
they're on sale? You never buy one of those?
No, I buy it that's packaged by the store.
Bags of frozen shrimp?
No.
How about frozen turkeys?
No. Well, frozen turkeys,
You buy a
yes.
frozen turkey, okay.
At
Every year they
Thanksgiving
got 'em on
time, yeah.
sale,
19
27
cents
cents
a pound.
pound. Yep.
Yes.
Prepackaged chicken comes in. It's.
I buy what's packaged by the store.
You think this packaged by the store?
Well, my nephew used to be the meat cutter at the store I shop at, so pretty much.
How about bags of potatoes or fruits?
No.
You don't buy any.
I buy individual.
5 pound
No.
bag of potatoes.
It's a waste for me to do that.
Anything that's sold by the weight, not the box or bushel or the bag. bucket,
Yes,
you buy
like an
sold-
onion.
Sold by the weight,
A
right?
potato.
What about hams, half hams, turkeys, and chickens, or packages of shrimp that all seem to miraculously weigh the same thing if they're Right.
Yeah, we can talk about
Have you
that.
ever wondered if the weight on those packages was actually accurate? Or did you just take the price on the package as face value and shell out the bucks without even hesitating?
Yeah, I don't usually carry a scale with me. So
Given
I
today's
would take
prices,
that.
like $20 for a pound of steak that the retail industry first blamed on COVID, then the increase in diesel fuel for the trucks delivering all those products to the retail
Yes.
stores near you. I wonder if a ribeye that was packaged and weighed at the whatever food company, food store, supermarket you go to, at their distribution center, because they don't do very much locally, if it was weighed and packaged, came into the store, already weighed, wrapped up, ready to be sold, $20 for a pound, and you get I don't know, let's say a package that shows a pound and 4 ounces at $20 a pound. That's got a sticker price of $25, right?
Right.
That would be accurate if the steak actually weighed a pound and a quarter. How about if the steak, even including the packaging, weighs 16 ounces instead of a pound and a quarter? That's 1 pound instead of a pound and a quarter. That would mean the store is making $5 more than its standard markup for the extra quarter pound. $5 for a quarter pound. I doubt seriously that you can tell the difference between the two weights picking them up. And don't get me wrong, if that steak is cut, wrapped, and weighed at the distribution center, the store had nothing to do with the difference in weight. But what if the chain of stores actually pays for the actual weight of all the packages, weighed as a large quantity? In other words, at XYZ supermarket or chain big box store, if they get in 200 packages of steaks that they weigh a pound and a quarter each, but when they weigh them, they come out to be a pound, and they only pay for them at the wholesale price on a pound. But then they can sell it for plus the markup, plus the extra $5. They make a killing. Oh, how about the packaging? Those styrofoam trays plus the piece of absorbent material under the steak,
You're paying for it.
maybe that's 2, maybe 4 ounces. That's another $2.50 to $4 to $5. Well, I guess someone has to pay for it, but $5 a pound for packing material is a little bit outrageous, right? What happened to supermarkets and even big box food stores that sell steaks and similar products having butchers? What happened to those supermarkets? Butchers who cut the meat, then weigh it, then wrap it after it was weighed in butcher paper. As long as the butchers keep their thumbs off the scales, and the scales are routinely inspected by individual states' weights and measures agencies, then the customer will get what we pay for, even at the already bloated prices that are being charged. I've heard folks claim that it's not that big of a deal for some scales to read a little off. I'm sorry. You tell that to tournament fishermen. If that thing is off an ounce in a king mackerel tournament, the difference between first place and second place can be thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So if a tournament, a fun event, uses scales that are accurate, you think your supermarket should be doing the same thing at $5 per quarter pound. Wouldn't you think that?
There's a lot of things I would like to
If you think this is a bunch of made-up malarkey, Walmart agreed to a $45 million class action settlement after allegations that the chain overcharged customers for sold by the weight items, including meat, poultry, pork, seafood, and bagged citrus, by mislabeling weights or inflating prices at the register. That was for covered items bought between October 19th, 2018 and January 19th, 2024. They got caught. They were convicted. For a period of 6 years, just for certain items sold, Walmart paid out $45 million for inflated pricing.
Rayford,
I'm not making this stuff up.
no, I believe you. I was in the store last week, my usual store that I go to, and a gentleman walked by me. We were on the same aisle, and he went to go pick up, it was a bag of stevia sugar, and he looked at it. He set it back down. There was a young lady that was stocking shelves. And this gentleman went off, not in a bad way, but he goes, look at this. He said, they've increased the price on this. The price has not gone down. But if you look, the package is smaller.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I'm right there with you. And if you've noticed that on a lot of things, that they may be coming down in price a little bit, but the packages are smaller. They're smaller. Rayford, you go buy a regular size candy bar now, it's half the size it used to be.
Well, I will tell you that's not exactly always true, because you go buy a bag of potato chips, you're paying for air inside.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Do you know that air does have weight to it, right?
Yes, it does.
So
I would think
if they weigh a bag that's half full of air and product,
Well,
you're paying for some of the air.
that's what you need to do the next time you buy a bag of potato chips. Let's weigh it before you open it and see if it matches what's
I
on there.
have a certified scale for fishing tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $400 scale. It's sealed and certified. Would that be
$30
fun?
digital?
Would that be fun to do
Right.
that?
Yeah, we should.
It's accurate to the point
Right,
zero
right.
whatever. So
Well,
that would be fun to do.
I've noticed that's just like, do you remember it used to be when you went to the store and bought a pack of bacon, it was 16 ounces.
Yeah.
16 ounces. And then, I don't know how many years ago, they started making 12-ounce packages of bacon.
Yeah,
The
but-
prices were higher, but it was 12 ounce. It's Timmy. But, things, I'm right there with you. I get so frustrated. When I bought a box of ice cream sandwiches.
I did too.
My cell phone is bigger than the ice cream
We used
sandwich.
to have one that would be a meal. It
Yes.
wasn't a sandwich. It wasn't even a snack.
I'm like, what is this?
Hey, Timmy.
What's up?
What's happening?
I'm on a roll this morning.
Yes, you are, boy, you are just beating the nails right in the wood today. I mean, you talk about the tater chips, that one, and I'm not as old as you are now, but you can lay 20 cents on the counter, get a bag of tater chips and a Pepsi Cola, and it was a full bag of tater chips.
Yep.
And I will never forget when they changed them around. I was a lot older. She got a half a bag of air, and I said, what do I? And the tater chip man, I will never forget him. We called him Steamboat Cotton. Never forget him. He said, "But they put the air in there to keep it fresher for you."
What?
And the biggest lie, and he laughed. Of course, he knew it was a lie, but I used to laugh over that. And we started buying air. I said, "I just got a load of air. Didn't have to buy it." But it was just crazy.
Well,
Crazy, and like you talking about the ice cream sandwiches. You're right. You had an ice cream sandwich, you had a meal, buddy.
Yeah. Well, just imagine
for
if
10 cents at school.
that's right.
I remember when it was, I remember going to school, they would serve chocolate milk on Tuesday and Thursday. Well, everybody wanted chocolate milk and wanted the extra milk. It was a nickel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went to a dime. And before you know it, it had gone all the way up to 20 cents and a quarter for the extra milk. And then you had people that got free lunch, and they'd bring in and break $1 bill. They get an extra milk. Man, oh man, ain't this bad. Then they changed that around. You could get an extra milk for free. And because it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair for the people who could not afford lunch to not be able to get a milk. And I said, my God, they're paying $1. They're pulling out $1 bill. But I used to laugh over that stuff. And the only time you ever got I guess you buy when Pringles came out. That's when everybody started jumping up and down. Oh, you get a full tube of tater chips. I spread them out. And for the money, no, it wasn't really that wasn't a deal. It just wasn't. But you really hit the nail on the head. I appreciate you doing that because I get mad about it all the time.
Well, I do too, and it's just asinine that we're getting stuck like this, and we're being sold a bill of goods. I know that air costs money. Air also weighs. a standard dive tank, an 80 cubic foot scuba tank, for instance, it weighs a certain weight when it's empty, no air in it. It weighs five pounds more when it's full of air. Hello?
Okay, yeah.
5 pounds more. It's compressed air, of course, but it weighs 5 pounds more. So air has a weight.
Yes, it does.
So maybe if they would take the air out of those potato chip bags, wonder what would that potato chip bag would weigh with the potato chips that are in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it blew my mind when I can't remember how old I was when I noticed that. But I do remember, and like I said, he's long gone now. Steamboat Cox is what we called him. His first name was Fulton, and that's why we called him Steamboat.
Yeah, okay.
And he was the Gordon's potato chip guy. Started out with Gordon. And but he hit us up on that. Yeah, we just, this keeps them fresher. And he just laughed and laughed. But we had a good time with him. But yeah, and I'll give you one more thing. I drink a Dr. Pepper Zero, and I usually stop at the store first thing in the morning and get a 20 ounce.
Mhm.
And it's $3.10 now.
What?
Yeah, for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 ounce Dr. Pepper Zero is
What?
$3.10 now.
I used to pay 25 cents for a 6-pack of
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola,
Yes.
10-ounce ones.
I pay $6. I can go to the grocery store and pay about sometimes $4.89 for a 6-pack of them, and they're 16 ounces. But you go to a convenience, and that's why it's called convenience store. But I paid $3.10 for one this morning, and I looked at the guy and said, "You got to be kidding." He said, "No." Now I can go to and I'll give him a plug. Go to the Piggly Wiggly, buy the same one for $2.87. But it just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes right back to what I preached on: it cost of transporting it. So price goes up.
Oh, yeah. And they tell me the price of oil is going up again.
Oh yeah, it is. It's just I watch it out here. I laugh out here. Oh, they're talking about putting speed limiters, wanting to put speed limiters on trucks again, and some states have done that, and they've get pileups and crashes and all that stuff.
No. See, I think you need to get here as fast as you can, so you don't burn up any more oil, any more diesel fuel.
Yeah.
The faster you get here, the less fuel you burn.
Well, it used to be they used to be all fuel. If you slow down, you'll save fuel. You do, and but the thing about it is, and it's like we had a big meeting one time. These diesel engine companies have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to get the most efficient usage out of that truck until they brought out DPF and DEF. Now, no, nobody cares because it's going to break down, clogs up, it's going to break down, that's $3,000. And now when they're Trump's talking about, well, it's not a criminal offense to do it anymore, it's just a civil offense, the engine company said, well, we're not going to stop doing it. Well, no, they're not going to stop doing it because they're making money. They're making, every time it breaks down, it's $3,000 to $6,000 fixed. So, yeah, no, and the warranty doesn't cover that. Oh, no, you don't get a warranty to cover that. But it's just all about the money. So everybody's paying for this. You, me, everybody else.
I know that.
It winds up at the grocery store.
And I get to complain about it because I pay for it. If I'm paying for it, I'm going to complain about it. And I got something else here. I'm getting ready to show Lee, and I'm going to complain about this as well. You ready?
Oh, God. He said you said you had a lot.
Oh, I did. Okay. What? Hold on. You see all that bacon on there that's been trimmed? I trimmed it. I trimmed the fat off. I trimmed the fat off that bacon. You see all that bacon right there?
Yes.
That's what's left out of a package of bacon.
Yes.
A whole package of bacon.
I understand.
Now, let me show you what I trimmed off of that package of bacon.
That's ridiculous.
I trimmed more fat off the bacon. I got it right here.
Right.
I trimmed more fat off of this package
to be healthy,
of bacon.
yes, you don't need all that fat.
Off of this package of bacon. I left enough trimmings on it to make it cook right. But more fat off this package of bacon. And of course, if you go just a little bit further on here, this is what that package looked like when it was open. You didn't see. But here's what it looked like Oh, well, when it's closed up, all you see is
A few
that
pieces.
part
Yes.
of it. You see the good looking part of the
Yeah.
bacon. The rest of the bacon, look at that first piece there on the rest of the bacon.
Right.
But
Right.
you're missing the point, though, Ray. You're missing the point.
Yeah, I
You gotta understand
I
when
keep
you-
my
when
hat
you-
on, nobody will see a point.
When you cook that bacon and all that fat melts in the grease, you can take that grease, store it, and when you cook your collards, you can pour that grease in your collards for seasoning. So that's what they're thinking about.
Good luck on me doing that.
I had to throw that in. Look, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Keep ranting and raving. I appreciate you, buddy.
Bye.
Y'all be good. Love y'all.
See ya.
Okay, bye,
I
Tim.
voted Tim.
All right,
Yeah.
this is what we need to do. We need to go buy a bag of potato chips. And when you get them home, weigh them and see if the weight that's on the bag of potato chips matches the weight of what you just weighed it. So we'll know whether we're paying for air or not. But could you imagine if they didn't put air in the potato chips? Could you imagine buying those off the shelves? They would be nothing but crumbs, Rayford. They've got to put air in it to keep the chips from getting all busted up.
Why didn't they do that 40 years ago?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know. But those were little teeny bags.
No,
But-
they weren't. They were big bags, regular bags.
I don't ever remember
For
buying.
15 cents, yeah.
Yeah, I see. I don't remember that. But it would be interesting to see if we're actually paying for air.
Mhm.
And okay, do you do this? Like you go to the grocery store and you get, say you want a cabbage. Do you pull all the bad leaves off of it before you put it in your
I
cart?
don't,
Or
I don't want a cabbage, but no,
what?
I don't eat cabbage.
Well, I'm using that as an example. Okay.
Let's take another one. What else do I do? Lettuce. Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
Let's say I get a head of lettuce, not
Okay, a head of lettuce.
not iceberg lettuce because
And it's not wrapped.
wrapped up. and
Right.
stuff. But because that's not what I like to eat anyway.
Right.
But I get the other one. No, I don't pull the leaves off of it.
I've seen, why are you going to pay for dead leaves on it? Well, I'm the same way. I don't pull them off
I
either,
don't
but
pull
I've
them
seen
off.
people do that. I've seen people pick off the bad parts.
You know, there's a store, Harris Teeter. We don't have one here, right?
Soon we will.
I heard that for 40 years.
No, they are. They're building it right next to Academy Sports.
Okay.
It's
They
true.
had, not that I'm a big proponent of theirs, but I used to in Wilmington, and when I
Right.
was coming this way, I would stop when I wanted corn on the cob. They got fresh corn on the cob. At that location, they have a spot there with a knife and a table and a big garbage can that you can go ahead and shuck your corn there to make sure you're
Right.
getting a good ear of corn, and then you don't have to take it
Well,
home.
I understand because you know how many times you get home and shuck it and there's worms in it.
Never, because I always take it and pull the top of it loose, and I'll look at it right there at the top.
Right.
I don't shuck it in the store, not
Well,
these
see,
stores.
and
I did at Harris Teeter because they allowed it.
I got a bruise. Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to go buy some produce and you're buying fresh produce, are you taking the bad stuff off of it before you put it in your cart? Are you paying for that too? Because I've seen people actually pull leaves and stuff off
I'm
before
sure.
they put it in the cart.
Yeah.
Same thing with like grapes. It used to be you could buy as many or as less grapes as you wanted, but now they come prepackaged.
Yeah.
I don't buy anything right now. I'm avoiding all fruits and veggies.
Well, you got celery that sometimes is already packaged. You
Yes.
got, I don't buy those prepackaged things like that. I don't
Right.
like them.
It's very seldom that I might buy a little bag of shredded carrots or something.
I don't like
$2 bag, or and usually celery. I just buy the regular celery that's not prepackaged.
Yeah, I do too.
I try to buy everything fresh, but right now, jalapenos are on the list now for causing that exploding
Yeah.
diarrhea.
That goes without saying under most conditions.
Well, I'm telling you, right. Well, no, that is causing salmonella. They have an outbreak of that with the jalapenos. I'm telling you, I'm just donuts. But donuts.
We need to test some donuts out.
Yeah,
We need to do a
any
taste test.
Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme. You want to send
All
us
of
some
the above.
donuts, and we'll do a taste test for you.
Yeah, send us your some kind of a filling. Send us your glazed, of course. Everybody's got a glaze. If they got a, I don't know, what other kind, just 2 or 3 different kinds of the fillings and
Right.
chocolate covers. And we'll test them. I'll test
Yeah,
them.
we will. We'll
Happy to
test
test
them.
them.
Well,
I
we'll
got
test them.
experience with donuts, y'all.
I'm gonna tell you
I
what.
wonder if I can learn how to make a donut.
You can make them easy, Rayford.
No, I can't.
Yes, you could. Make some sourdough donuts.
Ugh,
Oh no, you would like them.
no,
You don't like anything.
I want donuts. I want donuts. I want them to be sweet and
Then you can
glazed
make 'em
is
sweet.
great. And then I want donuts.
That's why Krispy
And
Kreme,
filling.
fresh out of the
It's
the grease, and you could buy.
Yeah.
I could go sugar overdose on that.
Yeah, 6 of no problem.
Yes, just because
Don't
they
take
just.
them home.
Oh no,
You
they
don't
never
like
make
that?
it home.
That's right. Eat them on the way.
That's right.
Put a bag there and
We used to go to Wilmington to go to yard sales early in the morning, and our first stop
hot
was
stop.
Krispy Kreme, and we would devour the whole dozen, then be sick.
Well, the best place
Let's
is
go.
Carolina Beach called Britt's Donuts.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
Mark Price told me about that
To kill
place.
for. I've been
Yes.
there. I sat there at
I
that
think they
counter
just
and-
closed. Did they
probably. I
close?
sat there at that counter many a time at
Mhm.
nighttime drinking coldest milk that you've ever seen in your life, right next to freezing. And we have a caller who,
You got it
Is it
too
vaping?
fast for me. Hello.
well,
Well,
I guess they didn't want to. Try
they're,
again.
they're still open.
I don't
Yeah.
have to arrange to go to Carolina Beach. I'd bring
They're
donuts
still
here,
open.
but they don't have any preservatives.
Don't those look so good?
And Brits, they don't have any or did not have preservatives in them.
Well-
The problem is you get them home and by morning, they're hard.
Well, that's
But
why
I-
you have to eat them all as soon as you get
But I
them.
found a way to make them right.
Oh,
Put them in the microwave
Mhm.
on a low heat and put a damp paper towel on top. It would absorb the moisture and it would heat up and you can eat them. It's not as good as, but for the morning after, it's pretty dang good.
Nothing's. Wait.
Who we got?
Don't touch it. Oh, we have Steve. Don't touch it.
Steve, we had a beat from you last time or from somebody. How you doing?
Good morning.
How
Good
you?
morning.
Good morning.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'll be hunk of dang Dory here right now. We just
Yeah,
complained about everybody and anything. What you want to talk about?
I hear you. I hear you. I wanted to say, I agree. I don't think you should have to pay for the brown leaves leaf, but they keep it wrapped up now, so
Yes.
you can't really shut them off
True.
there. So, you brought up what I do to compensate for that is I see how many of those seedless grapes I can eat before I get to the cash register.
But you know, I heard about you. You're the one they're going
I've
to put some
seen people do
scales at the cash rate. You're going to have to get weighed coming in and going out.
Or eat the banana off the group of banana. You've got a
I
spam
didn't find
card.
nothing I wanted, but I sure am full.
Yeah, that's a spam.
Yeah, I came in for something, but I don't really want it anymore.
But I ain't hungry no more. Yeah. I used to love going to Sam's Club at lunchtime years ago.
Oh yeah,
Hot
I
dogs.
would get me a drink and walk through there at the samples.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
You
yes.
could sample. I could eat my way through Sam's
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and never buy.
I'm what they call a frugal person.
and then not buy one thing there because I don't really care for that.
What was that? They had a New River Shopping Center. What was the name of that place? And they always had samples in there. It was
I'm
it's a fairly well-known
Oh.
place to go buy crackers and cheeses and meats and
Oh,
stuff.
Hickory Farms.
Yes, and I think that was it.
Oh,
And they
yeah,
used to
yeah.
have
Oh
samples.
yeah, they did.
We kids used to walk up there. We would get our lunch there.
You could do that.
So good.
Well, guys, that was the pleasantries. I want to air a grievance right quick and
Go ahead.
see if y'all would agree it's valid or not.
Right.
Our illustrious president this weekend has posted another picture of him with a hat that says 2028. And I know that's nonsense.
Yeah.
My problem with it, my grievance is that our president is up in the wee hours of the morning posting nonsense, unconstitutional nonsense
And during the day, the media is catching him falling asleep at work.
Yeah.
Is that not a genuine grievance to have? I mean, his policies, all that aside, what's going on there, man? Why? I mean, if Biden would have been falling asleep during his cabinet meetings, Republicans would have took issue with that.
Well, they did. They did. They, you know, if he stumbled and did find his way back to the right place that he left from, or what they did, they complained about it every day, and it was ridiculous. The media, well, not the Republicans so much, to be honest with you. The media did. One outlet, Fox News, was primary the culprit, and it did not matter. It was like, was CNN? It was before CNN's days, I think. CNN came in the late 70s. Anyway, Gerald Ford, he was a little clumsy. He got thrown into the presidency, as we know, without a whole lot of notice. And then he trying to walk up the steps on Air Force One. And by the way, those are steep steps. He would stumble. He stumbled more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And the media at the time, I don't know which one it was. There was no Fox News. I don't think there was CNN at the time. But there he was. Why is that making news? Who cares? And who among you have never done that?
I understand that. But that's not really the point I'm trying to make.
I understand.
The point I'm trying to make is the people who had a strong opinion about Joe Biden's age and his inability to do the job.
Yeah.
Now there's crickets coming from them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they ain't got a word to say about the same thing happening to the person they support.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm in the middle, man. Joe Biden was old. My only thing I ever said to y'all was, yeah, Trump's old too. If they had somebody who was the appropriate age for the job and stamina, then, you know, that'd be different. But, you know, here we're seeing the same thing. And all of a sudden, the people who were complaining the loudest 4 years ago, crickets. They ain't nothing. There ain't nothing wrong with this guy falling asleep during the day in his cabinet meeting.
Yeah, well, there's a lot wrong with him falling asleep during the day. And here's the part about old is people say it's a state of mind. Well, it is sort of kind of, but and it's like folks that I've talked to over the decades. Jacques Cousteau was diving when he was 85 years old. Okay. I'm striving to be there, but I doubt very seriously if I'll make it. But there are people at 65, like I was talking to one last week. He was 62 and he'd given up diving. He'd been diving forever, but he was 62 and he said, I'm too old to dive. No, you're not. You're maybe in a condition that you're too much of a bad condition, a shape to dive, but you're not too old to dive. So I don't hold Trump's age, and it's hard to compare Trump's age with Biden's age, or with my granddaddy's age
People age differently.
Like late 80s, I think he was, and he was out hoeing watermelons every day, hoeing the weeds out of the watermelon patch. People age differently, but I agree with you. I've never liked the stupid stuff that he has to get up in the middle of the night to go posting all over Facebook. He used to be, and now whatever Sam Hill is these days. And it's dumb stuff. It's just dumb stuff. It was dumb 8 years ago when he was doing it. It's still dumb. And as far as the hat, I don't care. It's half of that is a joke. He's playing a game. That's a mind game with naysayers. I don't care about his hat.
And I understand, but to me that's nonsense. And unconstitutional nonsense. That makes it a little bit worse.
No, it's not unconstitutional to wear a hat.
To imply that he could run for a third term.
No, it's just which we know he can't, so it's not unconstitutional.
How is it
I can say I'm going.
I mean, for him to do it, I don't think he's going to do it. Would he try if he thought he could?
He can't
That's
do it.
the question.
He can't do it.
I know, but would he try if he thought he could?
Same number.
He probably would. I mean, we had a Roosevelt. Didn't we have a guy named Roosevelt to do it 4 times?
That don't make it good, man.
I didn't say it did, but I'm saying, would he try?
That's what I'm saying. But at any rate, my general grievance is that the people who set the bar when Joe Biden was in office, now all of a sudden Trump's falling below that measure, and then there's no criticism.
Yeah, but
You know, you're not in that group.
I
The
know
other
that.
thing is, I heard y'all say this morning
I
that
criticize.
you think there's people who think everybody who voted for Donald Trump is MAGA.
Yeah.
People on the far left might think that way, but the majority of people I've come across don't really look at it that way. You would almost have to say, and even the people in the Republican thing have redefined themselves as ultra MAGA. You know, and so I mean, obviously, when I speak of it, I'm speaking about the extreme.
Yeah. Well, we got one more person that's been trying to get in here, and I think they're on the
It's 9
line
o'clock.
before we have to leave because we're running a little bit late.
Call us tomorrow.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too.
Well, they just hung up again.
It's the same number,
The same
and it
number,
says spam risk.
What's the number? What prefix
It's a
is it?
305.
Oh, that's probably down there in Miami. That might be Drew. Drew, if that's you, call
No,
back.
because Drew's number shows up.
Well,
I've seen his number
he's
show
got
up.
several numbers.
Well,
I don't know.
this
What-
says high risk spam.
high risk spam.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
I
know
can't wait
her.
to call
I,
back.
I know
please.
her. Maybe
Um,
she's cleaned her act up.
Something
Maybe she-
controversial that's going on in Pitt County right now I want to talk about, but we'll wait and save it for tomorrow.
And tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
yes. Special
yeah.
guest coming in.
We got a beautiful lady's daddy coming in.
Yes,
How's
we
that
have
sound?
our district attorney,
District attorney. Yeah.
Ernie Lee, is
Ernie
going
Lee's
to
going to be joining us in the studio tomorrow, unless there
Yes.
gets to be an emergency overnight somewhere.
Right.
Those things happen when he gets called out to go to another county when there's like
Absolutely.
a homicide or whatever.
Absolutely. But yes, he'll be in tomorrow. We have a jam packed the rest of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow through the
Yeah.
Friday is going to be busy in the studio.
We
So
got Dr.
a lot of
Rose.
guests.
We got Dr. Rose, and she's going to bring
Mhm.
a lot of nurses with her. What's
we
with
do
the
have
sister
some
thing?
nurses that will be in
Yes.
Wednesday. They're going to talk about this organization that they have.
And guess who else I had this week?
You have our one and only famous and fabulous and favorite sports editor, Chris Miller.
And guess who
We
else
also
I
have
had?
Senator Tillis.
Senator Tom Tillis
Who's
is
gonna
going
be
to join
calling in
us
Thursday
morning.
We'll know today when our congressman will be calling in. And we also have a judge on tap for the studio
Yes,
come
we
Thursday.
do.
And then Friday, we're going to talk about what you should be planning now and some
Caterpillars.
special things on caterpillars. And there's
Caterpillars.
also a new hornet that's out.
Oh yeah, what we're going to talk about caterpillars? They were just future butterflies, so we're calling them caterpillars. How about butterflies?
Well, I
in
can
the
tell you
making?
one thing. I'm about ready to pull up what's left in the garden.
I pulled up some. I pulled up the
And
first.
well, I've pulled up some too, but I'm about ready to. I'm done with it this year.
Well, I've
I'm
already
done.
done-
Nothing's growing
I've already
right.
done my cucumbers, and I did the zucchini the first batch around.
Well, I have some that have bloomed. I'm just waiting to see if they
Well, I got
produce.
that. And
But
I ate one cantaloupe.
My bell peppers, I got a brand new bell pepper plant, and you know it's hard to kill those.
Huh.
They're growing, but the peppers are small again. They're not doing anything, just like the tomatoes are taking forever.
The things are just not right this year.
You know,
I
it's
don't know
the
what it is.
heat, I think.
Yeah.
The heat, the lack of rain, and then when we do get rain, it's all at one time.
Yeah.
The tomatoes are starting to split. I try to get them as they start turning pinkish
Yeah.
and put them in the windowsill, but I also have little bugs that are eating them and little dogs. So,
Well, I can
I'm
kill
about
the
done this
bugs.
year.
Don't kill the dogs.
no.
All
No.
right, that's what we got in store for tomorrow. So,
Have a busy week.
You want to chat? You might want to do it before 7:30 in the morning, because after that, we're likely going to be tied up.
Right.
How's that?
Right.
I don't know how long Ernie will be here.
No, I don't know either, but he's been so busy.
Oh, he has.
So busy, but
Okay, we will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the morning.
7
And,
a.m.
Y'all be careful out there, and tell a friend that this is where they need to be.
Right on.
And,
Local news, national news,
and if there's some stuff that you want to get off your chest, or
things about your neighbors.
you don't like us,
We'll get
don't
the
like what I'm
scoop.
saying, feel free to reach out and scream and holler
We
at
can
me.
tell you all about the Toms,
Do what?
the Toms on our page. We have more than one Tom. We can just give you the
Oh, yeah, the Tom.
the
report.
lowdown. Yes,
Yeah.
on them. Anyway,
Okay, we'll see you guys in the
All right.
morning. Y'all
Yes,
be
we
safe
will.
out there.
Bye.
In the meantime, you're live, you're local. We're Real Talk. We're awake now. We're not like the president. And we're not like the rest of the folks out there who are woke, especially those socialists.
Are you a MAGA?
I'm Make America Great Again. I'm not a Republican. I don't think I could be a MAGA if I'm not a Republican, Hannah.
Well, anybody can look to
Well, they
make
call- what they
America
call
great
them-
again,
They
but
call them MAGA Republicans. Is all I don't hear them just call them
if you
MAGAs.
voted for Trump, does that make you MAGA?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it? Because all I've ever heard of people say, "Oh, they're a MAGA Republican." I never heard of
But
say that.
MAGA means make America great again.
I've never heard anybody just say, "Hey, he's a MAGA."
Or he's
That
just a
sounds like a
Republican.
disease.
Oh, now my legs
He's a
hurt.
MAGA.
Okay. All right. We're leaving.
Okay.
Bye.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Bye.